Hello, everybody. Tonight we're going to be taking a look at the Champions Festival and seeing if, as a Dark Elf Ranger, how far we can get into that series of quests. It's actually two quests. So let's take a look. We're going to start out here as a Dark Elf Ranger in the guild lobby. And I'm going to head to the Common Lands first. Okay. A lot of this quest centers around Freeport. You're going to need some bag space, not too much. One or two spots should do. You'll be picking up one alcoholic beverage at a time. Now, while that's loading, let's see if I can find my chat. Okay, there we go. We're going to head over to the Common Lands, where one of the quest givers resides, at least temporarily. Take a look at the map here. We're going to these groups of huts here. And as a Dark Elf, I don't expect too much of an issue with the locals here. Now, Nala is indifferent, for example. It's the guards that I'm somewhat concerned with. Some of them don't seem to like Dark Elves, or they don't like followers of Inarok. Not entirely sure. I just remember as a cleric having a few of them aggro me on occasion, especially Sergeant Slate. Until, you worked up faction. Not too worried about it at this point because this character is 125, but if you are not able to kill the guards, you don't want to lose faction, that may be a concern. Just not sure if it's a concern with the Dark Elf Ranger, because so far, I haven't had a single guard aggro me in all of my testing. Let's see how Tobias, he's dubious. Okay. I should have checked this first. I really should have checked this first. It doesn't look like this event is happening on the beta server, so I can't tell for sure if the quest is doable. Well, we discovered it together. It is nigh impossible to check at a time in this case. Now, I could go live and use a mask to turn into a Dark Elf, except religion will still be Tuner or Korana, and that's not really going to give a accurate representation. I highly doubt that the other NPC will be there, but I'm going to check just to be thorough. We're going to Qeynos, as some people call it, into the hills thereof. And I highly doubt the NPC will be there. But we can actually test part of this. This quest here in the Common Lands, I really don't expect any issues. Dark Elves are seen as dubious. Inaruk, as a Dark Elf Cleric, I'm dubious to a lot of factions. Very few factions will straight out attack, but there are only a couple of NPCs you really need to talk to, and they're not usually too deep. So it's not here. It's maybe here. Yeah, you're going to need to buy, sorry, not buy, you're going to need to pick up an item in one of the taverns, and it may be this one. I was going to go by the prompt, but as you can see, I can walk around here without any issues so far. And the turn-in at the end, we may as well test those NPCs since we're here already, is up in this area. That is dubious. So we can, in fact, turn in, I think, but as you can see here, he will not allow us to shop. Now let's go to here and shared is what I'm looking for. Title. I do recommend invisibility for the majority of these quests, unless you're level 15 through 25, depending on, I don't remember the exact monster levels, but they were around that range. And if you can kill them, then you don't need to invis past them. And currently, nobody here is attacking me, so that's definitely a good sign. Perfection. All right, let's get out of here. The other part of this quest will go into East Freeport. I don't expect any issues there because that's essentially where evil classes go. The Ranger isn't considered an evil class, and that might affect things, but ultimately, Dark Elves are considered evil. So I don't really expect any issues there. You're going to have to pick up an item from there. You're also going to have to pick up an item from the sewers, and it's actually Freeport West will get you there. The north sewer entrance, not the south. The north sewer entrance, and then you're looking for an area with undead. So they're going to see through your invis. You're going to have to potentially defend yourself from some undead that are around, again, levels 15 through 25. So be aware of that. And let's see if the other quest is viable. I doubt it. But since we're here, we'll talk through a few of the steps. So that first quest that I just went and attempted the Common Lands, essentially you're going to go to various places. He's trying to write a story, but he's hoping that a drink will help loosen up his creative mojo, I guess. And you eventually bring him like 5 different drinks. So he's completely wasted by the end because he can't deliver the story himself. So he asks you to do it, and then you do so, and you go back and you talk to him, and then you get the reward. The second option is this quest here, which is a different reward. So I do recommend doing both of them if you'd like both weapon ornaments. Now, you can do either quest multiple times, which is important if you'd like to dual wield or get them for multiple characters. You may have to switch it. I think they're lore, if I remember correctly, but they're not lore. So you don't have to pass them along. Ignore what I just said. Because if they're lore, you couldn't dual wield them. Mira Sayer is part of this quest. She's the only one in Qeynos Hills or Surefall Glade. All right, so the quest giver is going to be here. They're obviously not. Let's go check on Myrna. So once you do the tasks, chores, essentially, that she assigns you, you're going to collect 5 of 5 different items. Carrots, meat, etc. She bakes a pie. She has you deliver them to various characters. And the question of, can we even talk to these characters? Are we going to get aggro from them? Or, they just won't talk to us in general? Okay, so nobody's aggroing me. Here we go. Con, dubious, hail. What brings you this way? Be careful, we've had problems with bandits of late. As if the nulls were not enough. Great. Okay, so maybe, just maybe, I don't like to speak to dark elves, much less sell it to them. So she won't sell it to us, but she might accept the pie. Now, after that, you're going to run into Qeynos. Now, it should be noted, a lot of what we do with this quest and the Boozery quest is picking up ground spawns. Now, they're not little bags on the ground. They're a purple glowing circle. And sometimes they'll be on the desk or a table. And often for this particular quest, they'll be on the ground because you're picking up tubers and carrots and ingredients for a pie. And then, so when you find one of those, you can go searching for more. But I highly recommend just stay there. If you're having trouble finding more of them, just stay where you are and pick them up as they respawn. They respawn in like 30 or 45 seconds. It really isn't a long duration between respawns, and otherwise, like Warslick Woods, trying to find ground spawns with with the tree cover that's there is brutal. So I found one, and I'm gonna wait it out the 4.5 minutes it's gonna take. Now the question is, will the guards let me in? Dubious. Okay. So what's close to here? Yep. So the one, if we talk to Myrna and she accepts the pie, that's one judge. You're going to deliver the 5 pies to 5 judges. This is another judge. He glowers dubiously. Okay, so we'll at least say something to the hail. Probably won't sell to me. That's fine. There are 2 merchants here. The other one is on find. Ziska Ironforge. So we're gonna go see Ziska. Which is right here. Okay, so hail, will talk, it won't sell. Same as everybody else here. So I'm not being attacked in the streets, which is great. Which means this will probably work. And I haven't done a lot of faction work to make these folks happy with me. You poke around, you kill the odd null, sure, but I definitely have not done a lot of work for that. Okay, now the 2 that are here do not show up on find. One of them is in the first building here. Bag and barrel, and that's Felicia. We're gonna hail. She does not talk to us. She doesn't want to sell to us either. And the other one is the Wayfair person, which is close to Captain Roland. Roland? Either way. Right here. He's indifferent, so he'll be fine. And as you can see here, Wayfarer's Brotherhood, he's that person, will happily judge the pie you're going to give him. And once you've delivered all of that, you go back to the quest giver in Qeynos Hills. You let her know that that's all been done. She gives you an item she found, which is the ornament. All right, so before we head out for today, since we cannot actually finish this, let's go back to Pock, and then we'll go to Warslick Woods. I'll show you an example of the ground spawn in case you're not aware of how they look, but also where I found the one that I would be using every time I go through this quest. Right, so when I'm done this, I'm going to change the name to Faction Checks for Champions, whatever this quest is called. Champions Festival. Now, to get to Warslick Woods, really pretty reasonable way is to simply go to Field of Bone. You have a teleporter item to Lake of Ill Omen that will also be one zone away from the woods. So we're going to take the Kabbalah Stone to Field of Bone once it loads through. Dates may change in future years, but it looks like this celebration runs for 11 days. And while most of it can be done invisible, I would highly recommend being level 15 at least, but even 25, 30, because there are places where you're going to need to engage with monsters. In fact, actually, I'm wrong on that. Most of this can be done somewhere between level 15 and 25. In Plane of Innovation, all of the spawns are where monsters spawn, like right at their feet kind of deal. It's very hard to, well, I mean, you could pacify them, I suppose, or otherwise make it so they don't attack, but they do see invisible and they're level 58, so you'll need to be able to take those on if your plan doesn't work, whatever wily plan you have to deal with them. If that doesn't work, you'll need to be able to take them on, and for the most part, I would just say get some friends, get some help, somebody who is able to destroy them or with a small party take them on, and then walk in and reap the rewards. Even if they take the first orb, it's going to respawn under a minute. Monster respawn rates are usually much greater in time, like 12 minutes, 8 minutes, something like that. Now for Warsick, doesn't look like I have the map, is what I was thinking. The only one that I've seen here is at the base of a tree. So I would keep your ears peeled, your eyes peeled for a purple orb at the base of a tree. That also seems to be true in some of the other drops. Trying to think of the name of the zone. Charval was the zone, the stone we click on in POC, and then we go to Shade Weaver's Thicket and see it. Anyway, so there, the orbs to click were also on the ground, under, close to the base of a tree. But so far, even though I am looking, I don't see anything. And so how I eventually found it was simply to follow this trail. So we'll do that here, and we'll see where it comes up. If I had maps, I found it a little bit interesting where it was discovered. Guess we don't really need that. Also, let's do that in case anyone has any questions. Now, there are probably guides for this, for the live version of this quest. Obviously, that doesn't show the impact of being a Dark Elf or Ranger. But this crossroads, if I recall correctly, this is where I saw it. Oh, they won't be here because the quest isn't here. How did I not figure that out earlier? Alright, so that's pretty much it. At this crossroads here at Warslick, you should find one. I believe it's by this tree here. And click it, wait for it to respawn, click it again, do that 5 times. You'll be out of here in under 5 minutes. Plus traveling time to and from. So, that's a very incomplete walkthrough, but I did test who we need to go talk to. It looks like on a faction level, unless you destroyed your factions within Freeport, or you've destroyed your factions within Qeynos, then you should be fine. You'll be able to do the turn-ins. If anyone has anything else, like a different experience, or they know something that I haven't covered here today, please put it in the comments below. Be happy to learn from your experiences. And with that, thank you everybody for watching our video here today. Have yourself a great one, and happy gaming.